Hey everybody, if you've seen my other videos on this channel, you would know that I do some speedruns for this game, Roboquest, and the category I typically run is S% category, and so there's two difficulties for S%, and there's going to be standard, and there's going to be Guardian 4. Guardian 4 is the one I'm running right now. You can see on the top right as a difficulty. But most people run standard just because it's easier, more accessible for more people. But Guardian 4 is a harder one, and I feel like that's more fun for me as a more skilled player. And plus with a lot of unlocks, it's not that hard to beat it normally, so I can challenge myself doing speedruns. So this video serves more as a guide for people who want to get into speedruns or like think speedrunning. Well, I don't think I'd be very good at speedrunning. Well, this is gonna be like a walkthrough for those kind of people, so that they can know what they need to do when they're speedrunning the game and the techniques involved, the routes, and just so that they can start pushing times. One thing starting off is knowing the movement text in this game. So here's here when I'm doing slide hopping. You don't even need a sprint, but if you have sprint, like auto sprint on, it makes it a lot easier. But I have a crouch and then jump. So the way to do it is you slide and then jump. Easy as that. And you don't even need to be sprinting in between them. I'm sure if you do, it would make it a lot faster. I don't, because my keybinds don't make it really easy for me. So I just slide, jump, slide, jump, slide, jump, and that helps you conserve your momentum when you're sliding. And just makes it faster. So first tip, number one, is you want to, for rooms that you move through on a second attempt, like if you have to move through a room twice, you don't want to clear it on the first pass through, you want to clear it on the second pass through. Just because if you clear it on the first pass through and then go through it the second time, you might have like picked up a item that would have helped you clear it faster, and that would have helped you on the second time. But also just because you're like, if you clear it the first time and you run through it, you're gonna just be walking and there's not gonna be anything for you to do. So unless you have like a rocket jump or something, that's probably going to be a time loss. I like, that one's worth picking up. So you always want to go quarry for speedruns. This is just the best path overall for going fast. There's almost no precedent for going the other paths, just they're not faster. Right here is when I want to look at the score. I have S, so I'm just going to skip the rest of the enemies because they don't matter as long as I get S. And it's kind of basically the same thing when you go into quarry. You want to not like completely clear every room when you come through it the first time. You want to, unless like you only visit a room once, you don't want to clear it the first time. You want to wait until you come to it the second time, and then that's when you want to clear it. So this room over upcoming here, I'm going to go and take the purple room. So I'm going to skip most of the enemies I see that I can't just kill straight up, and then go to here. So I forgot to do this last time, I'm going to do it this time, but you see these orange bounce pads, they start the timer when you step on them, and that's not fast for the in-game timer. So a lot of them can just really waste your time, especially the later ones. So it's best to just walk out the room more. So I need to take those. The same applies here. There's a orange room over here that you really want to pick up because it gives you the free level up. So you want to skip most of the enemies the first time around and then just go through here, pick up the perk you want. Oh, my render's really good. And then the second time around you can clear all the enemies. From here on out, there's not much to do until you clear this room. You just gotta clear it normally. Obviously, you want to be as fast as you can, but there's not much like special technique to do to clear these rooms. So you definitely want to make sure that you don't leave stragglers. They can end up hiding behind pillars and stuff. And that's really annoying. So after you clear that, you should have S rank, so you can usually skip right to the end. If not, you have to like kill a few enemies, which can be really annoying. First boss, usually this might take a bit just because our damage at the moment isn't very high. We don't have a lot of perks or items. If you have a marking tool by this point, that's really nice just because it's a big damage upgrade for the point in time that we're at. So something like bowl, the item, or if you have a flare gun, or your weapon has a alt fire that marks enemies, that's really nice. So now we're in Act 2. This is when a lot of the weapons that you want start spawning, and when the run starts really picking up. So I really like this weapon, so I'm gonna keep it. Same thing with the, I keep saying about the retracing, you want to clear a room the second time you go through it instead of the first. So here, I'm gonna clear it and then go back, clear this next one. If you're wondering, oh, that's a rocket jump, I want that. So if you're wondering why I didn't go for that purple room, it's just because they do take a decent amount of time sometimes, and it's just faster to skip them. I did the first two just because I might have gotten an item that could have really helped my build, and then that would have saved me more time than I spent going through them. But The later ones can take a decent amount of time, so I really would just skip them if I were trying to go for the fastest possible time. So this is Way Station. I didn't say it earlier, but on that last section, you should skip the enemies once you get C rank, because this area will get you right to S. I don't like hit scan. I really like freewheel though. So this area you want to clear whatever you can see at the moment, but like not worry too much about every single enemy, just because the rank you get S% on this one is really lax. So it's like around 50% of the enemies that you kill to get S. Shit. So you shouldn't like care too much about killing every single enemy. You just want to kill as much that gets you S and then leave. Wondering if I like drops like the XP too much, it really doesn't. Okay, thank God I got the perk I wanted. So yeah, as you can see, I'm skipping most of the enemies. Minigun, I want the minigun. Oh, so I already have S%. I kind of played that wrong, but now that I have S%, I'm just gonna skip through the areas until I get to the end. Yeah. If you played that better than I did just now, you would have been clearing a lot less enemies per room and just getting barely enough to get S rank so that you can skip. So now we're in Haven. The thing with going Way Station is that your levels, your weapon level is going to be really far behind once you get here. If you can afford it, you really want to have kept a bunch of power cells at this point in time to bring your weapons up or to buy a new weapon. And so items are going to be harder to buy too, just because you're going to be lower on power cells. This area is not too different, but having a rocket jump right here is really helpful just because how open it is. Saves you a lot of time moving around like this. So there's no like advanced trick to rocket jumping like there is in like TF2 or something. You just run and then shoot straight down, then you can rocket jump with most weapons. The bigger the blast radius, the better. So the rocket launcher has one of the best blast radiuses in the game, so it makes rocket jumping really easy. The other best would be like flare gun. Flare gun's really good for rocket jumping, just because if you're keeping it as utility, you can also just use it as a marking tool. It would be especially good for this build here, just because the Guardian doesn't have any innate methods of marking enemies. Oh shit. just killing the enemies like normally. Using rocket jumps to get between the areas faster. Guardian is not the most damage-oriented class, so if you were like Commando or something, I would definitely be going a lot faster than this. But that's fine, I'm here to show it off on Guardian. And it's not like this build is that bad. It's actually pretty good. So I killed all 4 Goliaths, but there's still this last in-between section that I need to do. So I can't leave just yet. And then after I clear that, I look for the exit. I think it's bottom left. No, it's top right. So this is another part where having a rocket jump is super useful. Just because traversing all of this by foot is really slow. So having rocket jump makes it a lot faster. I already have S rank, so I can leave, but usually you'd have to kill like a few enemies here. I like that. Like this. So there's a lot of backtracking on this stage. So the advice I gave earlier about not wanting to clear everything on the first run through applies very much so here. Especially if you don't have a rocket jump, but I have both. I'm still going to only clear them on the second run through just because it's kind of different. And that applies even to the room right before the purple room, just because you need to clear the purple rooms on the stage to advance. Another point where having a rocket jump is super useful, like this, where I can just skip the entire room basically. And then I almost took it, but you know you don't want to take those. I forgot I had free wheel on this weapon, which is really unfortunate because it was real good. I don't want that. Or not free wheel booster. I'm just making my merry way. Kind of broke my rule there, clearing all those enemies, but it's not that bad. So just clear all the ones that you can clear on the first try, and then do the purple room, skip through most of them, and then don't take the bounce pad. And clear them out. Clear the rest of them out the second try. Man, okay. So I have most of the enemies killed. I can just go down here. Until I get the rest. There we go. Now I'm at S, so I leave. And then for the first, this boss here, usually takes a lot of time. So having a really good build for boss killing is super important here. My build should be decent enough. Just have a minigun, minigun's really good. Now I'm on the moon. I would have liked a better minigun by this point, but there's not much I can do about that. So this last stage on the moon, you play pretty much just normal. There's not much like tricks. You just want to clear as fast as you can. Having, if you can't really clear this fast, your build probably suffers from some kind of issue. So if you having the best possible build really is just what you want to do. I mean, that's a given. Probably especially here, just because if you have a bad build, you're going to start feeling it. Especially Guardian 4. Guardian 4 is tough when it comes to speedrunning because you can't make too many mistakes on standard as you can on standard. Time is flowing in this middle section here, so if you can get away with not taking the health, you really should skip it. But I felt like I needed it because this build isn't good. I don't have. I was struggling a little bit on the last one. So I want to make sure I clear this one reliably. That perk. That's good. Once you clear all that, the time starts ticking down, and it stops ticking down when you start falling down the hole. People's really good. I'm on the final boss. It really is just a DPS check. Building towards the DPS check really isn't a valid option, just because clearing rooms is going to be like 90% of your run. But it is definitely nice if you have a good boss build on top of having a good modding capability. Here we are pretty good on that front. Also, another thing is that if you have all the gadgets, which you should, you really don't care about Iris overcharging, just because you can skip a lot of it just by like pogo sticking or jetpacking or grappling hooking. Pretty much anything, you can just skip most of the overcharge lasers. And then the last phase, of course, is just a DPS check. Needless to say, looks like that DPS is doing pretty good. There you go. That is my full walkthrough for S% speedrunning in Roboquest. This time we did Guardian 4, and then this is a pretty good time for Guardian. I should have mentioned this, I think, but categories for runs are separated by class, and difficulty. So don't really worry about which class is the best. So Guardian's obviously not one of the best classes for speedrunning just because he doesn't have a really big damage focus. But it's his own category, so if you really like Guardian and you want to speedrun, you can go ahead. So yeah, that's my guide. That's my walkthrough. I hope you learned something. Yeah.